Hi there, welcome to C programming tutorial. Um, Today's tutorial is going to be on the topic of conditions in C programming language. Um, Again, this tutorial is part of a collection of tutorials on C programming language. I would suggest that if you haven't been watching the previous tutorials on this topic, on programming in C, I would suggest that you click on the link in the description. The link actually is going to take you to the playlist, and you can over there you can click on play all, and you can watch all the videos one by one, or you can skip videos by clicking on the next video. Anyway, back to today's topic. We will be basically covering conditions in C programming language. This is the previous program. As you can see here, what happens is basically all the programs so far that we have written are basically purely sequential programs, and kind of boring actually, so they don't do quite a bit of things. It's basically, you input a value of x from the user, then input the value of y from the user, and then you add them together and display the output. So pretty linear program. So what conditions do is basically allow the computers to be able to decide based on the condition what to do next. So in this tutorial we are going to cover how to write the conditions. So here it is. In C programming language, basically what we can do is we can compare the values of two entities. Like, for example, how do you compare two numbers, for example? Basically, they could be, when you're comparing two numbers, they could be equal to each other, or they could be not equal to each other, or less than each other. One could be less than the other one. One could be greater than the other one. So all these are called conditions, and this is how you represent in C. For example, 2 is equal to 2. It's a condition. Okay? And normally conditions we write in C, we write conditions in brackets. And this condition 2 is equal to 2 is actually true. So that's the thing about the condition. Conditions are evaluated. They can either be true or they can be false. 2 is equal to 2 is a true condition, because we know that 2 is equal to 2, whereas 2 is equal to 3 is not true. It's actually false. So conditions can evaluate to be either true or false. So similarly, now note that what I have done, I have written equal to twice. Equal to, and the reason to do that is basically single equal to in C, single equal to, we have already seen that it means something. It means let the value of x be 2. Let assign 2 to x. If you write x is equal to 2, which is basically, if you write two equal signs, then that basically that makes it a condition. It doesn't say that assign 2 to x. What it says is basically, let's see if the value of x is the same as the value here, which is 2. So in other words, is the value of x equal to 2 or not? And would it be true or false? Well, it depends. If the value of x is 2, then it will be true. If the value of x is false, then it will be the value of x is 2, then it is going to be true. If the value of x is not 2, then it's going to be false. Now, if this was a statement just before this condition, where this condition was being used, if this is a statement, then the value of x is equal to 2, then x equal to 2 should evaluate to be true. If I basically change it to 3, it should evaluate to be false. So it will depend on the value of x. Similarly, you could also say if x is not equal to 2. Not equal to is also a condition. It's a way of comparing two entities. So here we are comparing numbers or variables to, and integer variables to the integer constants. And what do we get here? It will depend upon the value of x. Here in this example, the value of x is 3. So 3 is not equal to 2 is true. That yes, 3 is not equal to 2. If the value of x was 2, then 2 is not equal to 2. 2 is not equal to 2 would have been false. So it will depend on the value of x here again. Okay. In general, if I write 2 is not equal to 3, this condition is actually true. Now similarly, just like equal to and not equal to, we could compare if a number is greater than some other number. X is greater than y. It's just to show you an example. I mean, right hand side doesn't have to be a constant. It could be a variable also. So you could say 2 is not equal to x, or x is not equal to y, or x is equal to y. You could say that too. But here x is greater than y. That's also a condition. It could be either true or false depending upon the values of x and y. Similarly, you could use x is greater than equal to y. And it could be true or false depending upon the value of x and y. Similarly, you could say x is less than y, and that would either be true or false depending upon the value of x and y. You could also say something like x is less than y multiplied by 2. That's perfectly normal also. So what it's going to do is it will multiply y by 2 first, and then it will compare the value of x with the result of y multiplied by 2. And is that true or false? It will depend on the values of x and y. Now similarly, we could do the same thing as we have, with the we had greater than and greater than equal to both. Similarly, you could have less than equal to y plus 3. That's also a perfect condition. So the simple conditions, like the way I just explained it to you, well, basic conditions is basically they consist of equal to sign, not equal to sign, equal to, not equal to, greater than equal to, less than equal to. These are the 6 ways of writing conditions. These are called relational operators, because they operate, their operation is to find out the relationship between two entities. Now you could also say something like this: A is less than B. See, instead of integers you could compare characters also, and this is true because the constant A, remember, this is a constant A, and if you haven't watched the previous video, you should watch the previous videos about variables and types. So variables, constants, and types. There is a video with this title. You should watch that. Anyway, so this says A, the constant A, is less than B, and it is true because A comes before B. You could also say C is less than B if you have C defined as a character, and assign A to it, and that would be true also. If you assign D to it, then it says D less than B, the value D is less than value B. That's not true, that's false. So it will result in false. So conditions, we learned that conditions could result in true or false, and there are relational operators which allow you to compare two values. We will continue on in the next lecture. We will see how to use these conditions. Thank you for watching.